The modern social matrix is plagued by an epidemic of desperate visibility. The average individual is terrified of being forgotten. They believe that to attract others, they must perform. They text instantly, offer free attention, and cheapen their presence through constant exposure. In doing so, they commit a catastrophic psychological blunder. They violate the primary law of human gravity. Scarcity dictates value. High-status attraction is never born from performance. It is born from restraint. The silent strategist does not hunt for attention. They pull the environment toward them through the weaponized leverage of non-availability. When you master the art of strategic absence, you stop being a common commodity, and you transform into an enigmatic prize. Chapter 1. The Aura of Non-Availability, Seducing Through Absence. The modern social matrix is plagued by an epidemic of desperate visibility. The average individual is terrified of being forgotten. They believe that to attract others, to build a network, or to win a romantic interest, they must continuously project their presence into the environment. They send double texts. They immediately say yes to every trivial invitation. And they broadcast their emotional states onto digital platforms for anyone to view. They make their attention free, abundant, and completely frictionless. In doing so, they commit a catastrophic psychological blunder. They violate the primary law of human attraction. Scarcity dictates value. Human beings do not crave that which is always sitting on the shelf, waiting to be consumed. We are biologically and psychologically wired to pursue that which is hidden, restricted, and marginally out of reach. When you make yourself completely available, you destroy your mystery, flatten your status, and kill the subconscious urge for others to pursue you. The silent strategist flips this dynamic completely. They do not hunt for attraction. They pull the environment toward them through the calculated leverage of non-availability. They understand that your absence is an active, weaponized tool of seduction. By purposefully withdrawing your presence, you stop being an accessible commodity and transform into an enigmatic prize. Let us analyze the profound psychological architecture of strategic absence. When you interact with someone, whether a professional peer or a potential partner, and then suddenly withdraw into absolute silence, you create an immediate cognitive vacuum in their mind. The human brain abhors an uncompleted puzzle. The moment your instant responses cease, their imagination is forced to go to work. They begin to ask themselves internal questions. Where did they go? What are they focused on right now? Why aren't they chasing my validation like everyone else? By staying silent, you are forcing them to spend their own mental energy on you. In psychology, the more cognitive currency a person invests in thinking about you, the more valuable you automatically become in their estimation. You are leveraging their own subconscious mind to build your status. This non-availability must be exercised with cold, clinical precision. It is not about playing manipulative games or executing childish silent treatments out of emotional spite. True high-status unavailability is born from a genuine, unyielding dedication to your own sovereignty. You do not pretend to be busy. You are busy. You are locked inside the laboratory of your own self-mastery, building your assets, sharpening your mind, and optimizing your physical frame. When a low-value notification enters your space, you do not let it interrupt your focus. You do not respond with reflexive panic. You answer when it suits your timeline, or you choose not to answer at all if the input does not yield a strategic return. This unhurried pace communicates an unmistakable truth without you ever having to speak it. It signals that your life possesses a massive, independent gravity. It proves that you do not need their connection to feel complete, forcing them to adapt to your schedule if they wish to enter your orbit. To implement this into your daily life, you must systematically kill the fear of missing out. Let the masses exhaust themselves running from one shallow gathering to another, gossiping, overdrinking, and cheapening their presence through overexposure. Your path is the path of the phantom. Disappear for days at a time into deep execution. When you do choose to reappear in a social setting, your presence will carry the immense weight of an event. People will treat your time with reverence because they know it is a scarce, highly restricted resource. You become silently attractive not because you put on a loud show, but because your absence has trained the environment to understand that access to you must be earned. Identity-focused mantra. I do not flood the market with my presence. My availability is a rare luxury, and I let my absence build my unspoken value. Chapter 2. The Logic of Stillness, the Body Language of an Apex Operator. The human body is an absolute, unfiltered broadcast station for internal status. Long before you ever open your mouth to utter a single sentence, the primitive structures of the human brain have already evaluated your evolutionary rank, your confidence level, and your internal security based entirely on your physical mechanics. The average person walks through the world completely leaked. They are a collection of anxious, involuntary, and hyperreactive movements. They adjust their posture continuously, shuffle their feet, touch their faces, and dart their eyes frantically around the space. These micro-behaviors are the physical manifestations of a nervous system trapped in a state of survival panic. They are signaling to the entire room that they feel threatened, unstable, and deeply insecure in their own skin. This lack of physical control instantly repels high-status individuals and invites social disrespect. The apex operator dominates the social space through the absolute logic of physical stillness. They understand that in a world of frantic, chaotic motion, the individual who remains completely immovable becomes the natural gravity center of the room. Stillness is the universal physical signature of supreme confidence and deep-rooted power. It communicates that you possess so much internal certainty that you require absolutely no nervous energy to validate your existence. Let us break down the exact physical blueprint required to command unspoken status through body language. The first component is the total elimination of low-value, comforting behaviors. When humans experience social anxiety, our subconscious mind forces us to perform minor repetitive movements, such as tapping fingers, playing with keys, or shifting weight from one leg to another, to self-soothe the nervous system. The silent strategist treats these tics as active vulnerabilities. When you sit or stand, your body must lock into an absolute frame of calm stability. If you place your hands on a desk, they must remain perfectly still, open, and relaxed. If you cross your legs, they must stay anchored without twitching. This mechanical containment signals an immense level of neurological discipline. It tells the room that you are entirely comfortable with the pressure of the moment, completely disarming those who wish to rattle your frame. The second component of high-status stillness is the deliberate slowdown of your physical transitions. When you need to shift your posture, pick up an object, or turn to face someone, execute the movement at half the speed of the average person. If a loud noise occurs behind you, or if someone abruptly calls your name, do not jerk your body around defensively. Pause for a fractional second, then turn your neck with smooth, unhurried precision. This slow-motion pacing is an instinctual display of absolute dominance. In nature, the apex predator never moves erratically unless it is striking. It watches its environment with smooth, measured economy. By slowing down your physics, you signal that you are the master of your timeline, and that the environment must wait for your compliance. Furthermore, your stillness must manifest in how you handle eye contact. High-status attraction is generated through the steady application of the focused gaze. When you establish eye contact with a peer, a client, or a romantic interest, hold the connection without blinking rapidly or breaking your eyes downward. Breaking eye contact downward is an immediate physiological concession of submissive anxiety. If you must break the gaze, do so slowly and horizontally, as if you are simply shifting your focus to a new point of interest on your own terms. When someone speaks to you, do not nod your head continuously like a servant begging for approval. Keep your face perfectly still, maintain your steady gaze, and listen with a calm, neutral expression. This deep, unblinking stillness acts as a profound psychological mirror, forcing the speaker to evaluate their own words against your unreadable composure. They will find your quiet confidence utterly magnetic, simply because it is impossible to break, map, or manipulate. Identity-focused mantra. My body is an anchor of absolute stability. I eliminate all anxious motion, and I command the room through the power of my physical stillness. Chapter 3. Intellectual Economy, Speaking Only with Strategic Weight. There is a profound, irreversible link between the quantity of an individual's speech and the depreciation of their overall social power. The average person treats conversation as a mechanism for emotional venting and anxiety reduction. They speak continuously to prevent gaps in dialogue. They boast about their minor plans to inflate their ego. And they offer unprompted explanations to any person who challenges their frame. They flow with empty syllables, cliché phrases, and shallow opinions. By oversupplying the social market with their thoughts, they turn their mind into a cheap, common resource. When someone knows exactly what you think, what you fear, and what you want at any given moment, you lose all strategic leverage. You become entirely readable, entirely predictable, and completely uninteresting. The high-status operator practices the strict law of intellectual economy. They view their words not as a recreational outlet, but as premium, weaponized currency. They do not speak to be noticed. They speak only when their words are calculated to deliver maximum data, establish absolute boundaries, or permanently alter the power dynamic of the room. By practicing severe verbal restraint, you wrap your intellect in an armor of high-status mystery that naturally attracts the respect of the elite. Let us deconstruct the immense psychological weight of a low-frequency communicator. When you enter an environment and choose to remain silent while others are desperately talking to establish their presence, you are instantly resetting the rules of the engagement. The room cannot categorize you. They cannot map your intellectual limits. They cannot identify your insecurities. And they cannot calculate your next strategic move. This total absence of data triggers a deep, instinctual fascination in the human mind. People will naturally begin to watch you closely, analyzing your stillness and waiting for any signal from your frame. Your silence behaves like a blank canvas upon which they will automatically project their own respect, imagining you to be far more powerful, intelligent, and dangerous than you may even realize. When you finally choose to break your silence, your delivery must reflect the premium nature of your brand. You do not rush your speech. You do not speak with a high-pitched, nervous cadence. You drop your voice to a lower, resonant frequency, and you pace your sentences with deliberate pauses between your words. Do not fear the silence between your phrases. Let it hang in the air. This slow, measured delivery forces the listener to concentrate intensely on every syllable you utter. It signals that you are entirely unbothered by the pressure of the moment, and that your thoughts are too valuable to be rushed for anyone's convenience. Furthermore, intellectual economy requires you to master the art of the piercing question over the long statement. Weak individuals attempt to dominate conversations by lecturing, arguing, and trying to prove their intelligence through massive walls of text. The strategist handles conflict by asking a single, precise, laser-focused question that forces the opponent to dismantle their own argument. If someone attempts to passive-aggressively insult you or undermine your authority, do not launch into a defensive explanation. Simply look at them calmly, pause for 3 seconds, and ask, "What exactly are you trying to accomplish with that statement?" Or choice even simpler, remain completely silent and let their words wither in the room without an answer. This absolute refusal to engage with low-value input communicates an undeniable level of status. It proves that your mind is a secure, sovereign vault that cannot be compromised by the petty dramas of the masses. You become an irresistible force of attraction simply because your mind is a treasure that must be carefully mined, rather than a common textbook open for anyone to read. Identity-focused mantra. My words are an elite currency. I do not waste them on shallow noise. And I let my verbal economy command the absolute gravity of the room. Chapter 4. Selective validation. How to make people crave your approval. The average individual walks through the social matrix suffering from an acute deficit of emotional security, because they lack a solid, internally generated anchor of self-worth. They look for confirmation from the outside world. They look for praise, they hunt for compliments, and they measure their value entirely by the reactions of the people around them. When you give these individuals free, unmetered validation, you commit a critical strategic error. You believe that by being continuously pleasant, overly supportive, and constantly complimentary, you will make yourself attractive to them. But human psychology operates on a drastically different logic mechanism. When validation is cheap, abundant, and handed out to anyone for the most basic compliance, it immediately loses its psychological purchasing power. People do not value that which is given away without a cost. If you praise everyone for everything, your approval becomes a common commodity. It holds no weight, carries no status, and completely fails to generate an authentic draw toward your frame. The silent strategist operates through the lethal law of calibrated validation. They understand that your approval is an incredibly high-value psychological asset. Instead of flooding the environment with validation, you treat it like a rare currency, rationing its supply with strict, calculated precision. By choosing to withhold your approval from the common standard and delivering it only when it is thoroughly earned, you create a powerful psychological vacuum. You transform your validation from a cheap giveaway into a highly sought-after prize, training the entire environment to crave your respect and work continuously to secure your frame. Let us dissect the profound subconscious mechanics of validation hunger. When an individual enters your presence and encounters a calm, unreadable, and slightly detached composure, their ego is instantly forced into an evaluative mode. They notice that you do not offer the automatic smiles, the nervous laughs, or the shallow compliments that the rest of the crowd uses to ease social anxiety. Your frame remains perfectly still, polite but distant. This immediate lack of automatic validation triggers a subtle cognitive dissonance in their mind. They begin to ask themselves internal questions. Why aren't they trying to impress me? Do they see a limitation in my capabilities? What do I need to execute to win their approval? By withholding cheap validation, you have effectively elevated your position to that of a judge in the interaction. Because your baseline frame is hard to impress, the other person's survival instincts will naturally drive them to invest more effort, work harder, and display their maximum capabilities simply to break through your unreadable surface. This strategy must be executed with absolute emotional intelligence, avoiding any overt displays of cold arrogance or synthetic cruelty. True high-status selective validation is always clean, objective, and quiet. You do not insult people, and you do not treat them with loud disrespect. Loud disrespect is a definitive signature of a weak, insecure ego trying to posturing dominance. Instead, your baseline state is one of polite neutrality. You listen intently, you observe their movements, and you remain entirely unbothered. When the other individual finally executes something of genuine, undeniable value, whether it is a highly sophisticated business analysis, a display of profound discipline, or an exceptional strategic insight, you deliver your validation. But you do not deliver it with loud, dramatic enthusiasm. You deliver it through the art of the minimalist nod. You look them directly in the eyes, let your face soften slightly, and offer a short, high-density statement of precise recognition. That was exceptionally well executed. Your logic is perfectly clean. No overpraise, no emotional padding, and no length narratives. This short, high-density validation acts as a massive shot of dopamine to their psychological system. Because they had to work past your quiet neutrality to earn it, the praise feels authentic, premium, and incredibly rewarding. It holds genuine weight in their estimation because they know you do not throw your words away on common compliance. Furthermore, the moment you step back into your baseline state of calm neutrality after delivering the praise, you create an addictive cycle. They have tasted the premium value of your approval, and they will naturally look for the next opportunity to execute at a high level just to experience that validation once again. You are effectively guiding their social behavior simply by controlling the valve of your feedback. To implement this principle into your daily professional and personal relationships, you must immediately audit your baseline vocabulary. Eliminate all reflexive, empty phrases of praise from your daily interactions. Stop saying amazing, perfect, or incredible to describe routine, low-level tasks. When a colleague delivers average work, receive it with a calm, neutral acknowledgement. Thank you. Received. Save your highest status vocabulary exclusively for moments of genuine excellence. This practice is especially lethal when managing high-performing teams, dealing with difficult clients, or navigating romantic dynamics. In competitive corporate environments, the leader who praises everything creates a lazy, complacent culture where status is flat and execution is sloppy. But the leader who practices intellectual economy, and selective validation builds an elite culture of absolute precision. Every member of the team knows that your approval cannot be bought with excuses, charm, or superficial posturing. It can only be unlocked through raw, undeniable results. They will push themselves harder, refine their blueprints more thoroughly, and maintain a hyper-focused frame simply because winning your unvocalized respect has become the ultimate metric of their professional status. Step off the low-value stage of constant people-pleasing. Stop using your emotional energy to prop up the fragile egos of the crowd. Your mind is a sovereign vault, your voice is an elite resource, and your approval is a rare artifact of immense psychological gravity. Ration its distribution, guard its gate, and let your calculated stillness train the world to understand that your respect is a luxury that must be earned through absolute excellence. Identity-focused mantra. My approval is a rare and premium asset. I do not spend it on common compliance, and my calibrated recognition forces the world to elevate its execution. Chapter 5. The Enigma Mask, protecting your privacy to maintain mystery. The modern social matrix is plagued by an epidemic of oversharing. Driven by a chronic, neurotic fear of being misunderstood or forgotten, the average individual turns their life into a 24/7 low-budget reality show. They broadcast their emotional vulnerabilities to strangers, announce their financial plans long before they materialize, and continuously update the digital world on their relationship statuses, career setbacks, and private thoughts. They operate under the delusion that this raw, unfiltered transparency builds deep connection and trust. In reality, within the high-stakes arena of social intelligence, this is a fatal strategic error. When you lay bare your entire inner world, you voluntarily strip away your most lethal defensive asset, the Enigma Mask. A book that has been opened to its final page holds no curiosity. A chessboard with all its pieces exposed leaves nothing for an opponent to calculate, respect, or fear. The silent strategist understands that absolute privacy is the foundational bedrock of covert power and magnetic attraction. You do not need to invent mystery through artificial eccentricities or childish games. You simply need to establish an ironclad security protocol over the logistics of your life. When the supply of information regarding your moves is strictly rationed, the subconscious architecture of the human mind automatically behaves in your favor. It assigns a premium value to your silence. Peers, adversaries, and observers will continuously analyze, wonder, and treat your frame with instinctive reverence, simply because they cannot find a single vulnerability to map, anchor, or manipulate. Let us dissect the precise psychological mechanics of the Enigma vacuum. The human brain naturally abhors missing data. When confronted with an individual who is balanced, highly competent, and impeccably polite, yet entirely guarded about their personal affairs, the environment experiences cognitive dissonance. Because they do not know your net worth, your specific networks, your strategic plays, or the exact vulnerabilities of your past, they are forced to construct their own narratives. Under the laws of psychological projection, people always imagine a silent, self-contained operator to be holding the most dangerous cards at the table. Your lack of exposure creates a heavy psychological fog, transforming you into an immeasurable force. In any social or professional negotiation, the entity that cannot be measured always holds the leverage. Your opponents will routinely hesitate, overthink their angles, and stall their attacks out of a deep, instinctual fear of triggering an uncalculated trap you may have laid for them in the dark. To deploy the Enigma Mask with clinical efficacy, you must implement the law of non-justification. In casual or professional dialogue, when asked about your future trajectories, financial expansions, or private life, the low-status instinct is to over-explain. They outline their timelines, detail their struggles, and provide an excessive narrative, subtly begging the listener for validation and approval. The high-status operator executes the exact opposite. If a peer inquires about a major project you are developing, you do not detail the blueprints. You deliver a minimized, razor-sharp response with a calm, resonant frequency. We are currently optimizing the operational systems to guarantee premium execution. When the architecture is complete, the results will establish themselves. No narrative padding, No defensive explanations. This verbal boundary does not project rudeness. It signals an immense level of sovereign autonomy, a clear message that your domain requires no external authorization to exist. Furthermore, guarding your privacy acts as an automated filter against manipulative and toxic archetypes. Covert manipulators and narcissists survive entirely on the psychological intelligence they extract from their targets. They approach you under a mask of accelerated intimacy, sharing superficial secrets of their own to bait you into revealing your personal traumas, family fractures, or financial anxieties. The moment you leak this data, you hand them the exact emotional leverage they need to compromise your frame later. When you wear the Enigma mask, you starve these predators of their oxygen. You listen to their disclosures with cold, analytical empathy, but you keep your own vault permanently locked. When they realize that your boundary is absolute and that they cannot extract a single ounce of emotional data to exploit, they will experience profound discomfort. They will naturally retreat from your orbit to hunt for more accessible, easily compromised targets. Begin treating your personal data with the extreme discipline of a sovereign state protecting its highest level intelligence. Remove your emotional footprints from the digital landscape. Stop participating in public debates that yield zero financial or character equity. And never trade the sacred reality of your private milestones for the cheap, temporary dopamine of public attention. When you enter a room, your magnetic draw does not rely on a loud voice or a theatrical performance. It stems from the undeniable aura that you possess an unfathomable depth, that you are a fortress, constructed of solid, uncompromised silence. Let the crowd continue their loud, exhausting visibility on their public stages. Your position is in the silent room of strategy, where power is accumulated without noise, and sovereignty is maintained behind an impenetrable mask of absolute privacy. Identity-focused mantra: my life is an unmapped fortress of privacy. I do not trade my sovereignty for cheap attention, and my Enigma mask is an unbreakable boundary against the curiosity of the world. Chapter 6: High-Value Aesthetics, Dressing like Armor to Signal Dominance. Modern society routinely feeds the masses a superficial narrative. Do not judge a book by its cover, or that inner competence is the only metric that truly matters. They encourage people to adopt a careless, sloppy approach to their personal presentation, believing that the world will automatically recognize their value regardless of how they package it. But within the brutal reality of the social matrix, this mindset is a form of naive self-sabotage. The human brain is a biological scanner programmed to evaluate, classify, and map the hierarchy of an individual in less than a single second through visual input, long before you ever have the opportunity to display your intellect. Your aesthetics are not merely clothing, they are a continuous, nonverbal broadcasting network announcing your level of self-discipline, self-respect, and unvocalized power. When you enter a room looking wrinkled, disorganized, or loudly draped in cheap, oversized designer logos, you are broadcasting a deeply compromised psychological and financial report. The environment instantly files you away as a low-status commodity, someone who can be easily dismissed, managed, and overlooked. The silent strategist looks at fashion and personal presentation through a purely tactical lens. You do not dress to satisfy the superficial trends of the crowd or to look pleasant. You step into the armor of awareness. Every single detail of your physical package, the sharp drape of your jacket, the flawless polish of your leather shoes, the calculated frequency of your scent, is engineered to establish an unbreakable frame of authority, forcing the environment to naturally yield and respect your boundaries without you ever uttering a word. Let us dissect the precise psychological architecture of high-value aesthetics. The most common error made by the newly wealthy, or those desperately trying to project power, is the trap of conspicuous consumption and ostentatious display. They wear massive, garish brand logos across their chests, heavy gold chains, and excessively flashy watches designed solely to draw the eye. In behavioral psychology, this loud behavior is a definitive signature of a weak, malnourished ego crying out for external validation. Look at me, validate my worth, recognize my status. This is the ultimate vulnerability. High-level manipulators and true elite strategists instantly read this posturing as hidden insecurity, and they will weaponize synthetic flattery to compromise your logical frame. Conversely, the aesthetic language of the silent strategist is governed by the iron laws of sovereign minimalism, often referred to as quiet luxury. You utilize garments defined by clean geometric lines, structural rigidity, and a bespoke fit that perfectly matches your physical architecture. Your color palette is strictly rationed to deep, authoritative monochromatic tones, charcoal black, midnight navy, and slate gray. These garments possess absolutely no external branding. Their luxury and power are communicated entirely through the premium quality of the raw textile, the precision of the stitching, and absolute neatness. When you occupy a space in this psychological armor, you do not invite loud, vulgar attention. You command the focus of the most strategic minds in the room. They see the impeccable order of your presentation and immediately calculate your internal discipline. They realize that to maintain an identity this clean and controlled, you must possess an unbreakable mastery over the finer details of your life. The next component within this structural armor is the extreme containment of your accessories. A high-status individual never overdecorates their frame. A classic, matte steel mechanical watch, a pair of minimalist black sunglasses, or a flawless leather portfolio are all the tools you require to declare your sovereignty. Every accessory must be a monument to longevity and logic rather than fleeting trends. Your shoes must remain immaculately clean, polished, and free of a single scuff mark at all times. The shoe is your physical contact point with the ground. A dirty shoe signals to the subconscious mind of the observer that you are careless with details. And if you are careless with your own maintenance, you will undoubtedly be careless when managing high-stakes assets, business blueprints, or competitive risks. Finally, a hidden yet devastatingly lethal weapon within your aesthetic matrix is your olfactory signature, your scent. The vast majority of the population purchases commercial, overly sweet, mass-market fragrances advertised heavily across digital platforms. Those are the scents of the crowd. They are cheap and common. The strategist selects rare, dry, high-density fragrance profiles rooted in cedarwood, tobacco leaf, heavy leather, or dark oud. This scent does not travel 3 meters out to disrupt the room. It activates exclusively when an individual steps directly into your personal space. It functions as an invisible sensory shield, notifying their nervous system that they have approached a deeply calm, grounded, and mysterious entity. It anchors your presence firmly into their long-term memory, forcing them to recall your frame with unvocalized respect. Begin executing this aesthetic revolution within your domain immediately. Open your wardrobe and ruthlessly eliminate any item that is loud, brightly colored, poorly fitted, or structurally degraded. Invest exclusively in quality over volume. It is infinitely more strategic to own 3 bespoke, flawless outfits that act as absolute weapons of status than a closet overflowing with fast fashion. Clutter. When you wrap your body in the clean, silent armor of minimalist aesthetics, you will observe an immediate shift in how reality responds to your presence. Counterparts will speak with more calculated respect. Adversaries will think twice before challenging your parameters, and the world will naturally treat your boundaries with caution, simply because your armor broadcasts the ultimate warning signal. This is a silent strategist. Do not test the limits of their sovereignty. Identity-focused mantra. My aesthetics are the physical armor of my discipline and internal power. I do not dress to entertain the masses. I curate my presentation to declare absolute sovereignty over my environment. Chapter 7. The Unreactive Smile, Using Mystery as a Psychological Weapon. The primitive biological instinct of the human animal when confronted with the unknown, with information gaps, or with absolute silence is naturally rooted in fear, hesitation, and deep psychological discomfort. Within the social matrix, whenever an adversary delivers a probing question, a covert challenge, or a deliberate attempt to compromise your status, their nervous system is actively anticipating a matching reaction from yours. They expect you to flush with immediate anger, to stumble over defensive explanations to protect your ego, or to flash a nervous, submissive laugh to ease the sudden tension of the environment. In behavioral psychology, That reflexive, anxious laugh is known as an appeasement smile. It is a submissive signal that lower status primates utilize to notify a dominant player that they pose no threat, subtly begging for social inclusion. The moment you offer this reflexive appeasement, you hand over the entire emotional remote control of the interaction. You signal your internal fragility, allowing them to map and manage your frame with absolute ease. The high-status operator never uses a smile to beg for peace, validation, or social harmony. Instead, they transform this basic facial expression into a devastating weapon of nonverbal warfare. The unreactive smile. This is a highly calculated, minimalist movement where a faint, subtle smile forms elegantly on your lips, while your eyes remain completely steady, analytical, and cold. You are not smiling because you find their commentary humorous. You are smiling because you are observing their performance from a posture of absolute detachment. Let us dissect the destructive psychological mechanics that the unreactive smile inflicts upon an attacker. When a manipulative individual launches a covert strike, such as a passive-aggressive insult or an intrusive question designed to expose your privacy in front of a crowd, they have already mapped out your standard reactive options. If you remain silent with a visibly angry or defensive expression, they win because they successfully altered your internal chemistry. If you argue back, they win because they dragged you down into a low-value verbal conflict. But when you receive their provocation with a cold, unblinking 3-second pause, and then slowly allow a faint, neutral smile to curve your lips without saying a single word, you completely shatter the logic of their game. This smile contains zero actionable data. You do not agree, you do not deny, and you do not justify. You simply observe. This total vacuum of information immediately triggers a low-level survival panic in the provocateur's nervous system. Because your smile provides no feedback, their subconscious mind is forced to loop into overanalysis. They will instantly begin to ask themselves internal questions. What do they know that I don't? Did I just say something incredibly foolish and expose my own vulnerability? Have they already anticipated my strategy? Is there a hidden network or asset backing their frame that makes my threat look pathetic? The attacker's confidence disintegrates from the inside out. Your silence, paired with an unreadable smile, acts as an emotional amplifier, reflecting their own hostility back onto them until it turns into acute awkwardness. They will stumble over their words, attempt to walk back their insults, or ramble continuously just to escape the crushing pressure of the silence you created. Furthermore, the unreactive smile is an indispensable asset when navigating high-stakes negotiations or operating under extreme institutional pressure. When a counterparty delivers an aggressive ultimatum, an unfavorable term, or a hard psychological press, the low-status professional immediately tightens their posture, frowns, and begins to debate the details out of panic. The silent strategist receives the ultimatum with absolute physical stillness and a slow, unbothered smile. This response communicates a lethal underlying reality. It signals that their leverage is completely useless against your frame. It proves that you do not fear their exit because your sovereign position is entirely secure. When an opponent realizes that their absolute maximum pressure cannot even wipe the calm composure off your face, their strategic frame breaks. They will be the first to blink, softening their demands and offering concessions just to re-engage your quiet compliance. Mastering this psychological tool requires you to develop a strict neural separation between the muscles of your mouth and the muscles of your eyes. A fake, submissive smile automatically forces the muscles around the eyelids to crinkle, signaling an anxious desire to please. A strategic weaponized smile is entirely different. The lips elevate minimally, but the eyes remain an unmoving monument of observation, deep, focused, and entirely unbothered. This control requires immense internal discipline. You must view the world's provocations as mere shadows that cannot touch the structural integrity of your soul. You smile not to make them comfortable, but to notify them that you are operating from a superior level of cognitive awareness, looking down at their tactical moves with absolute clinical clarity. Carry this sovereignty into your daily life. When hit with a social boundary cross, a disrespectful remark, or an intrusive probe, make this your primary execution protocol. Freeze your body, refuse to speak. Look directly into their eyes and let a subtle smile form slowly. Hold that frame until the psychological gravity of the silence forces them to back down or shift the topic on their own terms. Let the masses continue to waste their words, bleed their energy, and explain themselves to anyone who asks. Your path is the path of the unseen strategist, the one who governs through restraint, protects their vault with absolute privacy, and commands the social matrix with an unreactive smile that leaves the world completely disarmed in your presence. Identity-focused mantra: I do not react with empty words. I use my silent mystery to break the control of the environment. Chapter 9: The 90-Day Unavailability Challenge, Rewiring for Strategic Silence. Theoretical knowledge without practical execution is nothing more than digital entertainment. You can listen to the deep philosophies of social intelligence, agree with the principles of dark psychology, and logically understand the profound mechanics of non-reaction. But if you return to your daily life operating on the same old hyper-accessible settings, your reality will never change. You will remain the same highly reactive, easily managed, low-value commodity that society has conditioned you to be. True cognitive transformation requires you to shock your psychological system. It requires you to actively tear down the old, weak neural pathways of reflexive availability and construct entirely new, ironclad highways of strategic restraint. To achieve this, you must enter the crucible of isolation. You must execute the 90-Day Unavailability Challenge. This challenge is a deliberate, highly calculated 3-month fast from social noise, validation seeking, and automatic accessibility. It is designed to completely reset your perceived value in the social market while giving you the internal laboratory required to master your logic engine. For the next 90 days, you will withdraw your presence from the common arena and implement 3 non-negotiable structural rules across your personal, digital, and professional existence. Rule number 1 is the strict enforcement of the digital delay buffer. The modern smartphone has turned the average human into a Pavlovian dog the moment a notification buzzes. They drop whatever deep focus they possess to instantly reply to a text, email, or direct message. They believe this rapid response signals efficiency, but in reality, it broadcasts that they have absolutely nothing more important going on in their lives. They are completely reactive. For the next 90 days, you will systematically break this addiction. Never reply to a non-emergency message immediately. Implement a mandatory wait period of 30 minutes to 1 hour for routine communications, and up to 24 hours for low-value social inquiries. When you delay your response, you are communicating an unspoken truth to the recipient. Your time is locked in production, your focus is highly expensive, and they must wait for access to your mind. You are breaking their expectation of instant gratification, automatically elevating the psychological weight of your words when you finally choose to deliver them. Rule number 2 is the aggressive 50% reduction of casual exposure. Look at your calendar over the past year. How many networking events, casual dinners, empty group hangouts, and superficial meetings have you attended simply out of social guilt or a fear of missing out? Every time you show up to an event where your presence is not structurally required or highly compensated, you are dilution testing your brand. You are making yourself a common, predictable fixture of the social landscape. For the next 90 days, you will aggressively slash your casual social appearances by half. If an invitation does not directly serve your wealth, your character evolution, or your iron discipline, the answer is a firm, unapologetic refusal. Do not offer a long, winding excuse for your absence. A simple, "I have other commitments that require my full attention," is your absolute shield. Use this newly reclaimed ocean of time to go dark. Disappear into deep work, master new technical skill sets. Optimize your physical biology in the gym, and cultivate absolute internal peace. Let the world wonder where you went. Let them fill your absence with curiosity. Rule number 3 is the absolute elimination of unprompted justification. The average person is a chronic over-explainer. When they make a minor mistake, change their mind, or step away from an obligation, they run to offer an exhaustive narrative explaining their actions. They lay bare their schedules, their stresses, and their inner conflicts, desperately begging the environment to understand and forgive them. For the next 90 days, you will execute a total ban on this behavior. If you are late to a meeting, do not enter apologizing and rambling about traffic. Walk in calmly. Occupy your seat with poise and say, "Thank you for waiting, let us begin the briefing." If you choose to step down from a social obligation, state your boundary cleanly without any protective padding. By stripping your communication of defensive explanations, you signal an immensely high level of psychological autonomy. You demonstrate that you are the sole authorizer of your choices, and you require no external validation to legitimize your reality. This 90-day crucible will not be easy. The first few weeks will trigger an intense psychological itch. Your ego will scream for the cheap validation of constant connection, and you will feel an overwhelming urge to check group chats and remind people of your existence. This acute discomfort is the definitive proof that the challenge is working. It is the sound of your old, fragile identity breaking apart under the weight of discipline. As you push through the second and third months, a profound shift will occur in your environment. The parasites and low-value superficial connections will naturally filter themselves out of your life, unable to survive without your constant availability. Meanwhile, the individuals who actually matter will begin to treat your scarce presence with immense gravity. They will prepare more thoroughly for your meetings, listen more intently to your insights, and show a level of respect you have never experienced before. You have successfully shifted the market dynamics of your identity. You have stepped off the cheap stage of constant exposure and entered the high-end vault of elite. Scarcity. Commit to the 90 days. Go dark, build your fortress, and let your absolute unavailability rewrite the entire rules of your social domain. Identity-focused mantra. I choose 90 days of absolute focus over a lifetime of empty visibility. My unavailability is my crucible, and my discipline will rewrite my worth. Chapter 10. Owning your sovereign identity, the sovereign mindset. We have officially reached the final apex of our strategic journey. We have traversed the intricate mechanics of the logic engine, constructed the internal fortress required to silence external noise, mastered the high art of absolute non-reaction, decoded the hidden data of unsaid communication, and established the profound psychological leverage of verbal, physical, and aesthetic scarcity. But you must understand a critical, underlying truth. These tools are not merely temporary parlor tricks to be deployed when you want to look clever in a social meeting. They are not superficial masks you put on and take off depending on who is standing in front of you. If you treat these principles as a transactional performance, the social matrix will eventually see right through your posture. Human intuition is incredibly sharp. It can effortlessly detect the difference between an individual who is merely acting strong and an individual who is fundamentally constructed of iron. To command an unshakable position of authority that deters manipulators and demands natural respect, you must undergo a complete, permanent identity shift. You must step out of the old, reactive skin of the participant and fully occupy your sovereign identity. You must become the silent strategist. What does it mean to possess a sovereign mindset? It means you are the absolute, undisputed ruler of your internal universe. The average person's mind is a colony ruled entirely by foreign powers. They are colonized by the shifting opinions of their peers, the trends of digital media, the superficial approval of their bosses, and the emotional fluctuations of their immediate environments. They are constantly looking outside of themselves for permission to feel successful, permission to feel confident, and permission to speak their truth. They are psychological subjects, perpetually waiting for the external world to crown them. The sovereign operator crowns themselves. You recognize that your validation, your self-worth, and your internal frame are entirely self-generated assets. You do not require the room to tell you that you are intelligent. Your results already know it. You do not need the crowd to acknowledge your high status. Your unyielding discipline already proves it, because you are entirely self-contained. You become completely immune to the standard leverage points of social manipulation. An adversary cannot hurt your feelings with an insult because your identity does not seek their validation. A manipulator cannot control you through a guilt trip because your boundaries do not negotiate with social pressure. A competitor cannot bait you into an unstable argument because your ego is dead, leaving only a cold, hyper-analytical operating system behind. Owning your sovereign identity alters the very molecular structure of your daily lifestyle. You no longer wander through the world looking for places to fit in or social circles to accept your presence. You look at every environment you enter as a grand chessboard, and you look at yourself as the grandmaster directing the pieces with absolute purpose. You move with immense intentionality. You speak only when your words carry the momentum of a direct command or a profound insight. You protect your time with the fierce aggression of a warlord guarding a border. You become entirely comfortable with the quiet silence of your own company, viewing isolation not as a lonely curse, but as the supreme premium luxury of an independent mind. Look deeply at the transformation you have undergone throughout this masterclass. The individual who started this guide was likely someone who was tired of being taken for granted, tired of having their boundaries casually crossed by toxic personalities, and tired of losing their emotional control during moments of high social crisis. But the individual who stands here now, at the conclusion of Chapter 10, is armed with an impenetrable armor of awareness. You have the specific knowledge required to read the unsaid intentions of your peers. You have the practical habits required to freeze your emotional reactivity and activate the devastating logic of your prefrontal cortex. You have the structural blueprints required to weaponize silence, build a magnificent physical aura, and establish a level of strategic scarcity that turns your presence into an absolute prize. Do not look back at the old version of yourself with regret. Look at it as the raw, unrefined material that was necessary to build the monolith you are today. The old you had to experience the pain of overavailability so you could appreciate the immense power of tactical distance. The old you had to suffer from the noise of the masses so you could fall deeply in love with the majestic authority of strategic silence. As you close this guide and walk back into the social matrix, do not announce your transformation to the world. Do not go to your friends or colleagues and boast about your new strategic mindsets. To do so would be a betrayal of the very scarcity we have cultivated. Keep the shift entirely to yourself. Let the world experience your transformation through the concrete reality of your changes. Let them notice that your responses are delayed, your words are fewer, your eyes are steadier, and your frame is completely unbreakable. Let them wonder what dark, powerful knowledge you have uncovered in the quiet corners of your isolation. Stay silent, stay unbothered, stay sovereign. Keep your eyes firmly locked on your long-term empire, and let your magnificent, quiet success shake the foundations of the world. The game of life is continuously moving, the pieces are spinning, and the social matrix is always trying to compromise your kingdom. But you are no longer a spectator. You are the master of the board. Identity-focused mantra. I am entirely sovereign. I master my mind. I master my focus. I master my world, and my silent identity is an empire that cannot be shaken. Real change does not happen overnight. It happens through the quiet habits you repeat every single day when no one is watching. Take control of your availability. Protect your peace. Reclaim your power. If you found value in this comprehensive guide, subscribe to our channel and tap the notification bell to join our community of elite thinkers. Leave a comment below with the mantra that resonated with your vision the most. Remember, master the game before the game masters you.